Tonight's broadcast is about to begin. Thank you for joining us on Cedar Creek Media.
This is J.D. Bird.
Tonight's broadcast is about to begin. Thank you for joining us on Cedar Creek Media.
This is J.D. Bird. You are listening to Mabank Sports here on Cedar Creek Media.
It's showtime!
And hello, everybody. Welcome in to the second of two broadcasts here tonight on Cedar Creek Media. Like always, I am Taylor Honey.
And I'm J.D. Bird.
And we are Cedar Creek Media, and we are proud to be here with you tonight. It is a district throwdown again here tonight as we have the Chapel Hill Bulldogs in town, J.D. Chapel Hill, of course, the runner-up last year. In the 4A Division I state football game. Let me double check. I cannot remember who they lost it to. Anna. So they lost 26-0 to Anna, which is, there's no shame in that. Anna, fantastic team, especially in the 4A ranks. They moved up to 5A this year. But anyway, long story short, they are the runners-up from last year. And now they kind of had a little bit of struggle here, I guess you could say, at the beginning of the year. I mean, as much of a struggle as you can say as a 5-2 start. But this is a powerhouse team. They took one on the chin to a couple of good teams so far this year. Lost 45-14 to Carthage, and that was in week 4. And then last week, losing to a real good Kilgore Bulldogs team, 42-7. So there's definitely a little bit of worry, I guess you could say, there in Bulldog Nation, just against some of those higher caliber teams. But other than that, Chapel Hill has really been running roughshod, and it all starts with their superstar running back. Young man will be going to Texas next year, and that is Ricky Stewart. So I'm putting you on the spot here, but do you happen to have Ricky's? I told you I'd have it here in front of me, but do you happen to have Ricky's rushing or his stats so far for the year?
Yeah, I do right here. He's played 7 games for him this year. He's carried the ball 98 times for 895 yards, an average of 9.1 yards per carry, 127.9 yards a game. His longest rush was 78 yards. He's had 500-plus yard runs. And 100-plus yard games, and he's had 11 touchdowns on the year. Also, he is one of their better receivers. 9 receptions for 148 yards, an average of 16.4 a catch. His longest was an 88-yarder. He's also got 1 touchdown in the receiving realm as well.
Yeah, so definitely a dual-threat, do-it-all kind of guy, and he is dangerous from no matter what part of the field you are. Sometimes, you kind of feel like maybe you get a team and maybe like a 3rd and 18 or something like that. You feel pretty good about it. Can't do that when Ricky Stewart, unfortunately, is on the field on the other side. Matter of fact, I had a chance to talk to Coach Hudson about Mr. Stewart and the rest of the Chapel Hill team. So without further ado, JD, let's kick it over to this week's edition of Hanging with Hudson. All right, so another week hanging with Hudson, of course, always with the athletics director and head football coach of the Mabank Panthers, Coach Zach Hudson. So, Coach, another week. We're getting into this thing. We're getting deep in. It's going to be our third district game now. Yep. So, and we've got one, of course. These guys were state runner-up last year in the Chapel Hill Bulldogs. They've got a couple of big names over there. Starting with that running back, it's going to Texas, Mr. Ricky Stewart. So I guess let's just go ahead and start there while we're talking about it. So everybody knows
Stewart's a very capable running back. So what do you do to kind of try and mitigate? Because you know he's going to pick up his yards, but what do you do to kind of mitigate the damage that somebody like that, somebody that dynamic can do to you?
Keep him on the sideline. I thought Kilgore did a really good job of doing some things that really contained him a little bit. I think against Kilgore, they were a little off just due to the change of quarterbacks. And so the timing was off on handoffs and things like that. He's grown up with that quarterback, and they spent a lot of time together, and then all of a sudden he's not there, and you're taking handoffs from a different guy with a different cadence and a different step here and a different step there. It makes a pretty big difference. But I'm sure another week of practice, and they'll solve some of those problems if the quarterback isn't coming back. It's one of those things that, you could see where it was a little off, the direction of how he was getting a handoff was a little off, and it kind of threw him off a little bit. But, he's pretty good. And, anybody going to Texas play running back is probably pretty good. So, you just try to keep him on the sideline. And when he's out there, just contain him and get as many people the ball and allow yourself to get as many people the ball. And that he's what makes them go, and there ain't no doubt about that. And we just try to, I thought our kids the last 2 weeks done a pretty good job of controlling the run game, which usually in history has been a difficult task for us because we're smaller than most. And so I thought I was pretty proud of our kids controlling that run game to where it makes the game manageable and you can do some things. So, we want to get them in passing situations, things of that nature. So, but they're going to try to find ways to get the ball in his hands. There's no doubt about that.
Yes, sir. And just like you were saying last week, if we go back to last week, man, it was impressive display from your offense. Saw a couple of big plays from a couple of guys. The big pass there from Penland to Gibbs. It's one of the biggest hitters of a play we've seen all year. So these guys seem to be looking a little bit more comfortable. Again, it's a system that they've ran before, but how are you feeling about the transition now? Are you feeling like everybody's kind of starting to maybe get a little bit more back into that groove? Are we still working into it? How are we feeling about the transition now?
Well, the funny part is, you listen to everybody talk, and these kids like throw the ball around, spread it out. Our kids were very excited to go back to the slot tee. Very excited. They know they're successful in it. They know it gives them the best chance of winning. We were trying to make something work, and there were still some things, and we could still be in it. And it's just harder to, when you face somebody really good, and it's harder. If one little thing gets away from you, you have trouble controlling that game. And so, we don't have just a game breaker type kid, which is fine. So without that, the spread offense and getting people in space and stuff like that loses its luster pretty quick. And the kids were begging for it to come back. They were begging us, and we got a little bit back in Canton, and then by the time Pine Tree hit, let's go. And so it's worked out well. It really has. I think they do a better job of running it right now than we probably have in the last 3 years, to be honest with you. A lot of those linemen were back, though, from last year. So, right. But it really helps the smaller linemen. You're not just having to stand up and take it from a defensive lineman. You kind of get angles on them and things of that nature. So it really does help the smaller linemen out. The rule changes they made 2 years ago where you can't cut a linebacker and things like that really hurt us with those smaller linemen. But at the same time, we've adjusted that a little bit and kind of adjusted the blocking a little bit for that. So, but the kids were looking forward to it, and they did exactly what you wanted to do against a really good football team. I thought they did a good job with Pine Tree. They just had a hard time finding the hole. Like, the holes were there. They were having a hard time finding it. This past week, I thought we were better at it. We weren't great at it, but we were a lot better at it. So hopefully we'll be better at it this week. And, finding those little small seams in there with the play. So, it's just one of those offenses that it's probably not the most exciting thing to watch from the bleachers, but, it really does give our kids the best opportunity to win and stay in a ball game and have a chance in the fourth quarter. When you go play the number 2, number 5, number 8 team in the state of Texas, you want to hit the fourth quarter with a chance to win the game. And it gives us that opportunity, we feel like. And so, last week we could have cut 5 minutes off the clock or added 5 minutes, we win the game.
Absolutely.
So it's just, ran out of time or time lasted too long, however you want to look at it. But those kids played their tails off, and that's all you can ask for. But, with the kids we have and the style that they run and all that kind of stuff and the size of our linemen, it really does fit, what we do and our kids, and they enjoy it. So.
Yes, sir. And speaking of the kid, now, during these interviews, I typically don't try and single out, ask a question about a particular kid, but throughout the year, there's just been this name. It's been coming up and coming up and coming up and coming up, and it's Noah Romero. So Noah Romero, from the beginning of the year, we saw him, of course, as the kicker and then playing some defense. Offensively, he's been coming in and getting some big chunks, kind of a combination between him and Cam Wilkinson. So what can you kind of tell us just a little bit about the evolution of Noah over the season? Because it seems like he has really stepped it up and kind of taken on a leadership role amongst his team.
Well, I don't think I don't think the stage is ever too big for him. You worry about that sometimes with kids. I could see our homecoming game, which we probably broke a capacity record. That stage got pretty big for some of them, and but not Noah. And so, even our coaches that haven't been here but a couple of years, asked me to explain Noah, and I was like, guys, when he was a freshman, he kicked the game-winning field goal out here in overtime against Henderson. So he's that kid, and I was really reluctant to send him out there, and I went and talked to him on silence. I'll never forget it. And I said, "Hey, you're gonna be all right." He goes, "Yeah, what's wrong?" I said, "All right, let's go." So whether he knew or not what the situation was, that's still up in the air. But he is kind of an ice cold kid that just plays the game, and he plays at a high level. He's a kid everybody wants. Those are the type of kids that you really want on your football team. He's never late. He's here on time. He's here every day. He's sick. You could hit him with a baseball bat, and he's just going to stand right in front of you and come right back. And so, he's just one of those kids that everybody enjoys. And, you got to have those type kids to be successful. You got to have those type kids to get other kids involved and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. But he really has an understanding of everything we do. He's been in this system. He's been in the defense for a long time. He's always taking reps with the offense. So nothing just confuses him. You can change little things with him. And, he has a knack for the game. So, but he's just one of those irreplaceable type kids.
Yes, sir. Well, all right. So now we're going to ask you to step away from the head football coach role and go over to the AD role. So at the beginning of the season, we kind of talked about how the direction of the athletics department was going, how everything was going. So now volleyball is getting, towards the end of the season. You've got bass fishing going on right now. Cross country just had big district runs a couple of weeks ago. So I was just, again, from the athletics director point of view, just kind of a progress report on the athletics department as a whole.
Well, volleyball is playing much better. I think when you come watch us, we're playing a lot better than we were last year. They're in their district. They got 2 or 3 that are kind of above where we're playing at right now. They're going to kind of fight for that 3-4 spot to get in. And the crazy part is we'll play real good and beat those top teams for a game, and then we kind of go back and we come forward again, just a little inconsistent, but they've played a lot better volleyball. I've been proud of them. They've improved and gotten better every week, so they're fun to watch. And, they do some really cool things sometimes, and it's just that consistency, and a lot of that's experience. There's not a lot of experience out there. There's, I think, 3 seniors on the team total, so just not a lot of experience. So they're fighting those battles a little bit. But you go to cross country, and of course Trista. She was silver medalist at state, last year, in track season, and, just a distance runner, always has been. She's in my daughter's class, and so I've gotten to watch her grow up. My daughter ran with her for a while, so it's been fun. I enjoy watching her because I've seen her just get better every year. I think she's really bought into the system and really does things right, and I think you can see that come through with her. And I think senior year for cross-country runners, things that take a lot of effort and time, you see seniors drop off a little bit.
Absolutely.
And just because of everything going on in their life. And so I was proud of her for staying with it and doing a good job of competing and doing all those things. But, the whole girls team, coming through, to win district and cross country, and then the boys team getting third. So it's, been good. Now, I am not in charge of bass fishing.
Sure.
It does not fall under me.
Oh, it's not a UIL sanctioned activity.
I
Okay.
still do powerlifting and stuff like that. So it's
Okay.
not really the UIL part. Just powerlifting and archery are not under the athletic realm right now.
Okay.
As far as I know. I know they go fishing because I have about 5 players that are on the fishing team, and I miss them on Saturday for Saturday film.
And it's amazing to me the crossover between football and bass fishing, and
I think there
baseball
was
even
7.
that much more.
I think I was missing 7 Saturday. I'm like, why are we missing 7 kids? They're all bass fishing. So
at least they're good at it. At least they're good at it.
say this, we're here for their experience. No, not many kids are going to go pro. They're not going to make a living doing this. Very few are going to become coaches and things of that nature. So, they need that experience. They need to branch out. They need to play multiple sports. They need to be involved. So it is nice to see, our kids. And, here living on the lake and, families living on the lake. So fishing's kind of what they do anyway. So I think that kind of fits us pretty well. And I'm glad we have that opportunity for our kids. But yeah, Saturday I missed 7 kids because we're bass fishing. So I was like, why don't they take me? Everything will be okay. But it is what it is.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, I guess one more lighthearted style question here is everybody's broken heart in football land here close to Dallas. So if you're Jerry Jones, are you firing Mike McCarthy after that Sunday performance?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't watch TV.
Oh, okay.
Saturday night. When I get home on Saturday afternoon after film and all that we do, I try to spend time with the family and try to do things out where we live and all that kind of stuff. But Saturday night I'll turn on a college football game usually. But Sunday, by the time church and we take care of some cattle and spend some time with my girls or taking them somewhere, then we come to work on Sunday. So I don't really get involved, especially with NFL. And so I know they got beat pretty bad. So I don't know who's to blame. I really don't. I know this. Usually the team with the best players win.
Sure.
In most sports and most avenues you look at. Where that's missing, I don't know. But usually you can look at a team and say, well, the best players are going to win, and they do about 95% of the time. So when I say, let's say 85%. But so when you start talking NFL and stuff like that, and I don't know where you look because I don't know how you tell those guys apart because they're all freaks.
Sure.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. All right. Well, Coach, we appreciate your time as always.
Yes, sir.
All right, so JD is always getting a little bit of a, as I like to say, it's not always just a conversation, it's an investigation when we're hanging out with Coach Hudson. So going to be an interesting one again as the Panthers, you see, coming out of the tunnel there. So do want to recognize that. But yeah, so again, whenever you have an opponent that is top-notch, and again, maybe things aren't going exactly the way that Chapel Hill planned them to be going this year. And again, don't really know too much, can't really speculate too much, but we do know that their all-world quarterback, their all-world athlete that plays quarterback for them, Demetrius Brisbane, did not play last week, and we're honestly not 100% sure if we're going to expect him this week. So that might be one of those cogs that Chapel Hill has to continue to work through. And as you heard last week against Kilgore, there was a bit of some things going on, just not quite as clean as they usually are over in Chapel Hill, and that possibly has to do with the fact that the quarterback change. So, and again, we're expecting rolling out there at QB tonight to be the junior number 6 Malik Gee, as it looks like we're actually getting ready for the national anthem. So let's go ahead and honor America. Wireless microphone down there, so do apologize about that. Weren't quite able to get that audio over to you. Interesting.
Yeah, it definitely got turned off.
Turned off, you think?
Yeah.
All right. Well, tell you what, JD, if you wouldn't mind calling the coin toss, I'm going to go put us another one right outside our booth here. So apologize again, folks, but JD will keep you entertained here for a minute.
Just a little bit. Looks like out there for the captains, number 54, Mr. Aaron Roden, number 16, Caden Penland, and number 5, Mr. Noah Romero out there. Of course, heard about Noah a little bit in their interview with Coach Hudson, has become a very integral part of this team. As now I will wait to see what the referee says. And Chapel Hill has won the toss, and they have elected to receive. So Chapel Hill going to start things off on the offensive side of the ball. Mabank going to bring out that defense, which is no problem for them, as that is how they would prefer to start the game either way. Of course, Coach Hudson likes being able to come in after halftime with the possession on it and get a roll on coming out of half. So the kicking unit for Mabank will head onto the field. Of course, that means number 5, Mr. Noah Romero, will set up to kick off for this team. Last week we saw a lot of onside kicking coming out of the Mabank Panthers. Did not see too many successful returns on those onside kicks. Set their opponent up in some pretty good field positions. So let's see if Coach Hudson is going to decide to continue with that same method, or if things will be changed up here tonight. Of course, we know Noah Romero has quite the leg on him, and from where he's setting up, it looks like it could be a bit of an onside here.
All right. Well, thank you, JD. And it looks like it's going to be, that's going to touch a Tyler Chapel Hill player and go out of bounds. To be honest with you, we might need Rick Ratley, our resident rules expert, for that one. I'm not positive. I believe it just –
so that one on there, if it's touched by the opposing team and goes out of bounds, then it's going to be it's going to be a fumble, hit out of bounds pretty much for Chapel Hill. So
that's what I was thinking, but you know me. Usually, whenever I say something, it turns out to be wrong. So JD, here is one of the questions we had, and it is going to be answered immediately, as it is going to be number 6 Malik Gee back to run things. Actually, going to be back by himself. And it's going to take the snap, roll right, and find a connection Oh, no, that
it's
ball's going to
dropped.
come out. Are they going to say it's a catch, or are they going to call it incomplete? Could see it going either way here and believe they're going to say it's incomplete. So, yes, so Guy going to start off the night 0 for 1. But, yeah, that was close. Very close to a football move, as they would say. Interestingly enough, it is not Ricky Stewart in the backfield either. It's number 17, Stinson, and he is going to get the first carry of the ball game. That, again, is Lemuel Stinson, sophomore running back. So that will be interesting to see here tonight if that stays that way. Of course, already playing without Brisbane, their starting running back. Going to be 2nd and 3 here. Going to be another handoff to Stinson. He's going to get around the left side and fall down. So he found plenty of space around the left, but couldn't quite make the gap there. But it will be enough for a first down, and we'll put the Bulldogs on the Mabank side of the territory here. So 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line of Mabank. Going to be in shotgun, send a man in motion. Going to be a pitch to him. Looked like that might have potential to have been another type of play, as it looked like the receiver there, number 10, who received it, Malik Brown, looked like he might have been trying to find somewhere to get the ball down. Didn't see any receivers down, but almost like he hesitated, like he was going to throw the ball there for a second, but does not. Ends up not being anything too bad here for the Panthers. 2nd and 10. This time going to be a straight handoff up the middle for Stinson, and there is a lot of room. Going to break through for a sizable gain. We're going to call it right at 20 yards. So 20-yard pickup here. And again, interesting. 2 guys that have carried this Chapel Hill team, Demetrius Brisbane and Ricky Stewart, neither one on the field so far. Gee's again, he fakes the handoff, going to float one. That's behind the line. Go pick it up. Oh, official picks up the ball. I guess he blew it dead, but to my naked eye up here, JD, that looked like that pass was behind the line and was a fumble. Official almost kind of looked like he hesitated a bit too, like he might have realized it second too late, but I think in all technicality that should have been a fumble, but either way it is going to turn into 2nd and 10 here. Guy in the shotgun takes a snap, going to be a delayed handoff. Stinson going up the middle. It's going to be stacked up by a host of Panthers there. First one comes to my eye, number 7, Racer McCullough. I think he's the one that came and finished it off. So it'll now be 3rd and 5 for Chapel Hill. Going to have dual receivers left and right. Single man in the backfield with the quarterback. It's going to be a reverse to the right side. Ball's out. Ball is out. Chapel Hill able to fall back on the ball, it looks like. And it's going to end up actually working out in Chapel Hill's favor. As the fumble goes forward a little bit, it looked like JD and recovered for a yard or 2 gain. It really looked like it might have been stacked up right at the line of scrimmage.
Offense going to stay out on the field for Chapel Hill.
Timeout called before, and Chapel Hill is going to be the one to call the timeout there. So interesting. Don't like the way it looks. So we've seen some success here for Chapel Hill right off the gate, blasting right up the middle. That is concerning if you're wearing green and white. You know, the run up the middle is the most basic play there is in football. So if a team is picking up, decent yardage on something like that, it's definitely not ideal. We'll be keeping you up to date with some of the scores from around the area as well. Within the district, you have got Lindale and Kilgore throwing down tonight. You've got Henderson and Longview, but that's going to be a real good game. They're throwing down. Athens hosting Carthage. Sunnyvale against Kemp. So we're getting ready for our 4th down play here. Gee sets up in the shotgun. There's Stewart. Hands off to Stewart, and he's going to be short. He's going to be short.
He is short.
First carry of the game for Ricky Stewart, and he is stuffed, and Mabank has a 4th down stop here. I like it. Finishing out the slate of what we got going on around us, I'm sorry, JD. We've got Eustis and Malakoff throwing down. Palestine and Dieball got their game started a little early. Westwood on top of that one, 13-6 already in the second quarter. Cayuga and Mildred, Price, Carlisle, and Crossroads, and Kearns and Frankston, who have also already got their game going underway. And it is 6-6. And JD, first score just popped up for Malakoff, 7-0. Here's going to be a sweep to the left side, right side. Going to be bottled up by Chapel Hill for a short loss for the Panthers. Believe that was Linder getting his hands on the ball. Will go down as a 1-yard loss. Yeah, it looks like Malakoff scored on their opening touch, JD. Hate to say it for you, buddy.
That's pretty normal.
And Kearns and Frankston knotted up at 6 apiece in the second quarter. Here's going to be a run up the middle, going to be stacked up. Continuing to try and fight there. Didn't quite see who got the handoff. Believe that was Wilkinson. Yes, it is. So Wilkinson comes out of the bottom of the pile. So no gain, no loss. So we'll now bring up 3rd and 11 here. All right, coming out of the huddle, Penland gets set under center. He's going to hand straight off. Looks like that was again to Wilkinson. And again, not much there for the Panthers. Going to be, we'll call it a yard gain. So back to the original line of scrimmage, and that will bring up 4th and 10. And Mr. Rev Neighbors coming out for the punt.
So quick 3 and out coming up for the Mabank Panthers.
They actually said Wilkinson was able to push forward for an extra yard, so 2-yard gain on the carry will be 4th and 9. So Wilkinson is the up back here. Lets everybody know it's good to go. Good snap. Good looking punt off the foot of Neighbors, kind of directionally jumps out. Looked like it might have had potential to do a little more rolling there, so didn't quite get as much as you've wanted to out of the Neighbors punt, but not going to complain about it. Flips the field back over and puts Chapel Hill on their own 40 to start their drive. All right, so here we go. Chapel Hill back out on the field. It is Stewart now flanking Gee. And they're going to hand straight off to the future UT man, who's going to be brought down well behind the line by our own stud running back. That is Mr. Cam Wilkinson, showing his prevalence on the defensive side. That will be a 7-yard loss for Ricky Stewart. So far, stopped on 4th down and a 7-yard loss.
Yeah, so far he has accumulated negative 8 yards of offense for himself.
Like that. Rolls out to the right here for Gee, trying to find somewhere. Finds a receiver, has to go way up in the air, makes a few Panthers miss, and is going to pick up right at about 12 yards. That was number 7 on the reception, Jonah Reardon. He's got a similar last name to that head coach down there.
I wonder if that's a correlation.
I would assume that's his son. Gee takes a snap, handoff. Stewart trying to find a 1st down yard, and that time, angry run. 9-yard pickup there for Stewart. That will put him back into the positive totals if my quick math skills are correct.
You would be correct with that, yes.
And that looked like one of those, like, all right, boys, I'm going to show you here. So don't want to see too many of those. Now going to be a counter, and Stewart again able to bounce forward, pick up right at about 5 yards. Halfway through this first quarter, still no score up on the board. And we heard you folks loud and clear, so we will be bringing an unadulterated halftime this week. So no interviews or anything like that as Guy scrambles out left and overthrows his receiver there. That was Trevor Brooks sitting wide open in a soft spot, but Guy just not quite able to get the ball delivered over to him. We'll set up now 3rd and mid, 5 yards to go here. And again, if you're just catching on, Chapel Hill wearing the white and blue uniforms, Mabank in their green home uniforms. Guy takes a snap, hands off to Stewart. He's met in the backfield, gets away. Oh, man. So that was an excellent effort there by the Panthers. Had Stewart locked up in the backfield, but not able to bring him down. So pretty good chance of putting Chapel Hill well behind the sticks. But Stewart makes the best out of a bad situation for his guys. 1st down now for the Bulldogs. Guy again takes a snap, surveys, goes right. Going to be a short throw that was behind the line. But, man, that is some good running there by number 13, Elton Calico, fighting through a few Mabank defenders to pick up a positive gain. The pass was really thrown about 3 to 4 yards behind the line. They're going to call it a gain of 7, so we'll bring up 2nd and 7 here. Got Stinton back, flanking Guy. And Guy going to keep it himself this time, rolls around the right side. Well into 1st down yardage. Looks like it's going to be a gain of about 11 here on the carry for the junior quarterback. I think everybody was pretty focused there on Stinson, seeing that he just came into the ball game, and Guy did a pretty good job. Here's another chance, and again, Guy going to go up the middle this time. Going to be brought down after a short gain. Looks like that was number 10, Blaine Foote, in on the tackle. So it'll be 2nd and 6 here for the Bulldogs now. Guy takes a snap, rolls right, has a man open, rolling, I believe, into the end zone there.
Sure enough.
Sure enough, that's number 7, Reardon, able to find the first points of the ball game from about 19 yards out. Or excuse me, 16 yards out. So 16-yard scoring strike there. And it will be number 44, Esteban Sandoval, the sophomore, on to do the extra point kicking. Good snap. Good hold and good kick. So, Chapel Hill Bulldogs jump out to a quick lead, to the first lead, I guess, of the game. Mabank going to have to do a little bit of uphill fighting to get back into it, but while they are flipping the field, let's go ahead and take us a short break. We'll be right back here on Cedar Creek Media.
Barks Environmental Services, located on 405 West Mason Street, provides customer service-driven experience that counts. They offer erosion control services such as rock filter dams and retaining walls, soil stabilization services like hydro seeding and sodding, as well as construction services such as land clearing and subdivision maintenance. Call Parks Environmental Services, the erosion control specialist, at 214-693-8056. And for any forestry mulching needs, call Right-of-Way Land Clearing at the same number. Again, that's 214-693-8056. Parks Environmental Services, putting it down to protect your ground.
And back to it here. Again, Chapel Hill jumping out to a lead here, 4:16 left to go here in the first quarter. Kick is off and going to be fair caught right at about the 20-yard line there for the Panthers. So, all right, JD, we'll take over here for a second. We're having some real trouble with our here. Huh.
No da.
No, I think I hear it. I think it was just muted. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm going to go check our wireless microphones. JD, take it.
All right, as the Chapel Hill defense has come onto the field, still in the huddle is the Mabank offense. As now they will trot their way onto the field. Penland under center here. Will take the snap and the handoff right there. Not quite sure who that is. As soon as I get a chance, I'll let you know. Number 21, Mr. Brexton Quint on the carry there. Going to end up getting caught behind the line on that one. Be a loss of 2 for Mr. Quint. As Linder going to bring out the play from Coach. 3:35 remaining here in the first quarter. As they will head to the line quickly now. And the pitch right there to Romero. Romero's going to have some space around the outside. Great run there from Noah Romero. He has certainly been a big factor in this offense as of recently. Picking up a nice gain of about 9 yards there on that one. Gives Mabank a much more reasonable 3rd down and 3.
Well, apparently the pack of batteries I bought this week at the dollar store are no good, JD.
No good on the batteries.
They're both dead. Fresh pack of batteries. This is going to be a push forward here for the Panthers. Looks like they fall forward for about a yard. Believe it was Penland on the carry. Yes, so Caden Penland, his first carry of the ball game here tonight so far, will be enough for a more manageable 4th down attempt if they want to go for it, and it looks like they will. Noah Romero coming out, or excuse me, no, that's Caruth. Apologize. Coming out into the ball game here.
Gonna line down quick here.
I think the ball actually hit the ground, JD. I think that was not a clean handoff there between Penland and Romero. Either way, it will be a turnover for Mabank and puts Chapel Hill in pretty good field position there as, again, whether it was a fumble or just didn't quite make it, either way, the boys in white and blue will be taking over here. So Gee awaiting, takes the snap, hands off to Stewart. Stewart going right up the middle. Going to rip off a chunk there. We'll call it 7 yards on the 1st down play. Handoff again going to Stewart. He shakes off a couple of defenders and picks up a 1st down right at about a 10-yard carry there for Ricky Stewart, which is right about on par for his season so far this year. So again, Gee going to set up here in the shotgun, takes the snap, is keeping, does a good job of avoiding a couple of defenders, kind of spins forward, was looking for somewhere to throw the ball, but had a couple of gentlemen in green right in his lap. not able to do much, but is able to, well, I say not able to do much, able to pick up about 6 yards on the play. So that will definitely keep them well ahead of the chains. JD, it's getting bad over there in Malakoff already.
Already, huh?
Snap goes to Gee, handoff to Stewart. Fights through some stiff contact, gets right to about the first down yardage line. So we'll call it a gain of 5. Yeah, first quarter, Malakoff 21, Eustis 0.
Yoo.
So not going great over there so far for you boys. Lindale and Kilgore, they are knotted up 7 apiece. That also in the first quarter. And Henderson strikes first over the Pine Tree Pirates, up 7-0 in the first quarter. As Stewart kind of feels one around the left. Great job of allowing his blocking to develop in front of him. Ends up as a, we'll call it 6-yard gain. Will now be 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. And that is the way the first quarter will end. So we'll come back to the second quarter. Chapel Hill knocking on the door. We're going to take us a short break. We'll come back right after this here on Cedar Creek Media.
All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Kylie with Double K Photography will help you never forget all those special occasions, wedding and maternity photos, as well as family and senior portraits, just to name a few. With over 5 years of professional experience, Kylie can transform your wildest dreams into reality with pricing options available to fit every budget. Contact Kylie by email to book today at hello@doubleKphotography.studio or online at www.doubleKphotography.studio, where you can also see samples from Kylie's previous works and client testimonials. Double K Photography, a proud supporter of Mabank Athletics.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability.
And we are back here on Cedar Creek Media as the Chapel Hill Bulldogs line up here on the 1-yard line trying to punch it in. And it is going to go direct snap there to Stewart. And line judge calling for the touchdown. But before that, it is a hold called on the offense. That'll be a 10-yard penalty against them. So they are going to come back on this one. 2nd down and goal just got a whole lot farther here for the Bulldogs. Oh, 1 second. Might have spoke too soon, as now the referee is backing them up. So, yes, I was correct on it. He decided to go with his original ruling there on the field. So from the 11-yard line now, the Chapel Hill Bulldogs will have to get it in 3 plays here. Gee back into the ball game. He's going to take it, and he's going to take off himself. Met there, but not after a pickup of about 3 yards there for Gee. Give it to him. Gee already on 4 carries with 24 yards here in this one. Stinson, who we haven't seen since really that first drive, carry the ball. He's carried the ball 4 times for 40 yards, so 10 yards a carry for Mr. Stinson on the night, but we haven't really seen him since. He's out there right now. They don't go to him. Gee keeps it himself. And great job by the Panthers to keep him corralled. And that's going to be a loss for Gee on that rush. Looks like they put them right back on the 11-yard line. So what they just gained with the last one, it looks like they're getting backed up here. So the gain of 3 turns into a loss of 3. So it will now be the Bulldogs on 4th down and goal here, as it looks like they will line up to kick the field goal. I believe number 44, Mr. Esteban Sandoval. And his kick is going to squeak through there. So Sandoval able to pick up the 3 points there for Chapel Hill.
All right, we should have at least one of them working now, JD. Again, sorry about the technical issues here tonight, folks. So now down double digits here in the early going of the second quarter. But again, got to feel pretty good about the way your defense just stacked up right there. Again, with a pretty high-powered team right there on the goal line. Now, of course, did get a little help from the penalty, but, we're not going to talk about that. But just a great job, great effort by your defense, again, stacking up and holding these guys out of the end zone, because you definitely feel a lot better being down 10 than a full 2 touchdowns, JD.
Well, you got to remember Chapel Hill also started in really great field position on.
This is very true.
Already starting in Mabank territory. So really great job there by the defense to hang in there, make the goal line stand, and only have to give up 3 on that possession.
So here's Foote. He's going to get the ball. He's going to return it here. Has a little bit of space to do so. Cuts
Good job,
back.
Mr. Foote.
Oh, man. Had one guy to beat, unfortunately. Just a little bit too good a positioning there for the Bulldogs. Is there a little more to that other microphone? I think we turned up the 1 all the way. There we go. Okay. There we go. Appreciate you, Mr. JD. Sorry, Bubba.
Do what I can.
All right. And again, the reason why, it is a big deal here for us, make sure those wireless, I know it kind of sounds dumb. We're sitting here talking about a wireless microphone, but again, we've had such a want for getting the bands played at high school or at halftime that we want to make sure we bring that to you, as the Panthers are going to try right side here. Not much to be gained. Matter of fact, they're going to say stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. So having that wireless microphone out there makes it possible for us to bring those band performances to you there at halftime. So appreciate the patience while we're trying to get it all worked out. And if you're the dollar store, and I guess I'm probably saying a little too much here, but if you are one of the dollar stores in the Caney City area, check your batteries, please.
Check your batteries.
All right, so Panthers again come set. Penland going to roll right, trying to find somewhere to go. Just kind of hoofs one over there. If it was a catch, it was a heck of one.
Looks like they are going to say he was out on that catch.
Oh, man, Dalen Gibbs almost had a phenomenal catch there on the sideline, just a little too far out. Excuse me, that was not Gibbs, that was Linder. So Linder almost had a phenomenal catch along the sidelines, but couldn't quite get the toes down. We'll bring up 3rd and long here for your Panthers. Keeps getting worse over there, JD. 28-0 in the first quarter. Malakoff on top.
I'm just going to say they play just about every year in district, and just about every year it goes like that. So nothing new there from the Malakoff and Eustis matchup.
Toss that time went over to Foote, and he does a good job trying to find some space, makes a positive gain. Call it 4 yards there for Gavin Foote. Of course, 2 different – that always sounds weird. 2 different foots, but I don't want to call them feet. So 2 different foot boys, a part of this Mabank team. Of course, number 1, Gavin, and then brother number 10, Blaine. This is going to be Mr. Rev Neighbors. He's going to be on doing the honor for the punting duties. Low snap, able to gather it, and ooh, that one's going to go straight up in the air. So a bit of a muff on that one, if we're going to be honest with each other. Does not get very far. Matter of fact, we were thinking the 50, but they're going to mark it out at the 45. So ends up being a net of about 15 yards there on the punt. So we have definitely seen Rev Neighbors do much better job back there punting, but again, kind of thrown off a little bit by a low snap, but I think Rev would be the first one to tell you that shouldn't matter. All right, so Guy going to be coming out here, going to be flanked by duo receivers here. Stewart on the left, couldn't quite see. I would assume it's Stinson on the right. Going to be a handoff to Stewart, who patiently waits for the hole to come alive, falls through it, picks up about 3 on the play. As you hear Mr. PA man, Cam Wilkinson. Feel like we say that last name about 50 times a game.
Yeah, he does a lot of the heavy carrying for this Mabank team.
Guy over to the left. There is a flag flying. Got the completion to Reardon, who ends up with a big gain of around 18 yards. But we will see what the penalty is all about here.
Ooh, looks like hands to the face from the offense there.
Yeah, so can't do that when you're blocking. Can't get that's essentially what hands to the face is on offense is essentially face mask for the defense. So whenever you're blocking up front, that's usually what's called on. They didn't give a number or anything like that, but usually as an offensive lineman, that's where it happens. When you try and get that press up, sometimes that hand can get up into the face, and if you have a hand on a face mask, that will be called just about every time. So that will put Chapel Hill at a severe disadvantage. That is a 15-yard penalty. So it will now be 2nd and 22. Handoff going to go to Stewart, trying to find some room around the left side, throws a heck of a stiff arm, and he's going to get back close to the original line of scrimmage. We will call it a gain of 11. So he cuts the deficit right in half. Will be now 3rd and 11. And you know, JD, that's kind of what I was talking about at the beginning of this game. He's one of those, doesn't really matter the down and distance. He is a game breaker. So you've always got to keep an eye on Mr. Ricky Stewart. Again, committed to go to the #1 college football team in the nation. And yes, I did say #1. And yes, I am wearing burnt orange. Here is Guy dropping back into the launch one. Has a wide open receiver right in the breadbasket there for Trevor Brooks. So that is a big hitter there. That is a 46-yard touchdown pass from the junior Malik Guy to the senior, number 12, Trevor Brooks. And Chapel Hill is opening the gap here, now 16-0 with still 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. Again, it's going to be number 44, Esteban Sandoval. Kick is up and good. So I'll tell you, how about that as a turnaround there? Trevor Brooks, I just saw, is also the holder. So go catch a nearly 50-yard touchdown and then hold the extra point. It's a pretty successful drive for that young man. Well, JD, while they are flipping the field, we're going to go ahead and take us a short break. We'll be right back right after this here on Cedar Creek Media.
Barks Environmental Services, located on 405 West Mason Street, provides customer service-driven experience that counts. They offer erosion control services such as rock filter dams and retaining walls, soil stabilization services like hydro seeding and sodding, as well as construction services such as land clearing and subdivision maintenance. Call Parks Environmental Services, the erosion control specialist, at 214-693-8056. And for any forestry mulching needs, call Right-of-Way Land Clearing at the same number. Again, that's 214-693-8056. Parks Environmental Services, putting it down to protect your ground.
All right, so back to it here. 17-0. Chapel Hill taking a commanding lead here in the second quarter. Mabank going to look to fight to get back into it here. It's going to be McCrossan on the return. Does a good job of snaking his way through a couple of white jerseys. Gets close to the 30, about the 27, 28-yard line. So it'll be some of the better starting field position for Mabank tonight. Not the best, but top three.
Top three. I believe that actually is the best field position that they've been able to get tonight.
Not to disagree, but they did get the one stop on fourth down, and I think that got them a little bit close.
I believe they were on the 20 with that even.
Okay, I was thinking the 30, but you probably are right. You got a better memory than me, as the handoff is not going to be able to produce much. Going to be a yard there. I believe that was Wilkinson on the carry. Oh, no, that's Wheeler. So Wheeler back into the ball game. Mr. Wheeler Ranford picks up the yard.
I believe that's actually that is his first carry of the game.
Yeah, and we saw him featured a lot more towards the beginning of the year, and they've just seemed to find success with Wilkinson and Romero. So Wheeler, again, a good option, is just kind of fallen down the depth chart a little bit. As again, the handoff going to go right up the middle. I believe, again, that is Mr. Ranford, and he is not going to be able to pick up anything. It will be a no gain, and it was Mr. Wheeler Ranford. So, again, 3rd and long here for the Panthers.
You know, I don't know how it took me this long to notice it, but if you'll just look at the size of those 4 guys up front for that Chapel Hill defense.
Oh, yeah.
That is an absolute wall to try to run through.
Oh, yeah. Especially right there plugging up the middle, that big number 62, Isaiah Collins, listed at 5'11", 260. I don't know. He looks bigger than that to me. As the pitch goes to the right side, Ranford going to pick up a nice little chunk here. We'll call it 4 yards. We'll bring
Not
up.
to disagree, but I think that was a 6-yard gain right there.
Yes, no, yep, you're right. You're right. The official actually that I was looking at stepped up a yard. So side judge correcting him. So you two were right. Us two were wrong. And it will bring up now 4th and 3. And Neighbors again going to be out to do the punting. Let's see if we can get a better punt this time. Again, we know Neighbors is very well capable of those big boots. High this time, does a good job to keep it almost blocked and going to be close to the same yardage.
Big that one up.
Yep, so 2 back-to-back punts that leave a little bit to be desired, as that one will end up traveling for, we'll call it, 18 yards, 18, 19 yards.
Yeah, not a whole lot there in terms of punting on the last 2 attempts for Mr. Neighbors.
Still close to half of this quarter left, 5:40 left to go here in the half. It's going to be Gee out, setting the shotgun. I believe that's Stinson back there with him. It is that they're going to hand off to Reardon. Reardon trying to find some room on the left side and
He drops the ball.
He did. He fumbled. As the Panthers able to get on it before it goes out of bounds. Some discussion going on here on the sideline, I believe, and they're going to say no.
I think they're going to say he was down.
Okay, so they're going to say a knee down. And Reardon kind of a little gimpy after the play. But it will be 2nd and 11 either way. Gee rolling out left, trying to find somewhere, launches downfield, has a connection. That will be enough for a first down. Actually about 15 yards on the play. Believe that was number 10, Malik Brown, on the reception. So Gee seeming to have get a little more comfortable here in the second quarter throwing the ball.
Yeah, he's got 97 yards on 8 attempts.
Of course, 46 of those coming on the big touchdown as Stinson breaks through one tackle but can't get through the other. Got to be careful there, Gavin. His foot brought him down, then gave him a little extra afterwards, a little verbal extra. Officials don't tend to like that, so going to have to request you not do it again, simply because we need you out there on the field.
Looks like the forward progress still ended up picking him up 2 yards there for Stinson.
So Gee now flipping out to the left, has the same man he connected with that long touchdown earlier, and it looks like he is going to roll in again.
From 34,
34. Yeah. So 46-yard touchdown and a 34-yard touchdown now on the night between Trevor Brooks and Malik Gee, the wide receiver quarterback combo. And that will extend the lead out even more here for Chapel Hill. 23-0 now, and waiting on a extra point here by Sandoval. All right, snap is back, good hold, kick is good as well. Got some bodies flying. Don't normally see bodies flying on field goals, but it does happen this time. So the gap seems to get a bit bigger, Mr. JD. Now down, as we said, 24-0. Let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, my JD. I'm going to stop making fun at this point. And again, I'm not making fun. I think Eustis is a great school district. Matter of fact, where I live, kids go to Eustis, and they are all really, really good kids. But, my cohort here is from Eustis, so I like to give them a little bit of ribbon every once in a while because my high school was not good. Like y'all, Eustis probably would have beat us. We were not good, so got to give you a little ribbon every once in a while. But it has gotten to the point now where it's just not even fun to make fun of.
It's not funny anymore, huh?
First quarter, Malakoff 42, Eustis nothing.
Still in the first
quarter.
Oh, my goodness.
So Pine Tree has drawn closer to Henderson. That one is 7-6 there in the second quarter. Kilgore going up over Lindale in the second quarter, 21-7, and we'll get you some more scores right after this. Kick is deep and going to be received by McCrossan close to the 10. He crosses the 25. Ooh, is he going to be able to stand up? Yes.
He rolled an ankle there.
Yeah,
that
is exactly it. So McCrossan, one of their speedier guys, you could see it from here. That ankle kind of shook a little bit, but he seems to be up and okay, no problem. So in the second quarter, now I got to give Athens give them a hand on this. That's pretty good. Carthage 14, Athens nothing again in the second quarter. So it's a pretty good stand by them. Palestine Westwood all over Diboll, 27-6. That one at halftime. Cayuga and Mildred locked at 7 apiece at half. Price Carlisle 20. Crossroads 14. That one in the second quarter as Penland rolls, trying to find somewhere, throws it downfield and finds McCrossan. Going to be about a 9-yard gain there for the pair. And Kearns on top of Frankston, 20-19. That game also in the second quarter. So we'll keep you up to date with the scores around the area. But that was maybe the most confident throw we have seen Caden Penland make in several weeks. He stood in the pocket, came up, delivered. Pass was a little bit high, but obviously in the realm for McCrossan, who brings it down and puts Mabank in there, at least from my memory, their first, second, and short of the ball game.
Yeah, they really have had some pretty struggling drives here, especially on first down. Some of their best progress early in the drive for them.
Now this one's going to be stacked up at the line and brought down for no gain there.
I believe that's Ranford. He's sitting there hiding behind Penland at the moment.
Yeah.
Ranford on that carry.
Yeah, so Ranford, no game. But, JD, I don't know if you noticed, we are not in the slot T at the moment. Lined up in shotgun there that last play. So let's see what we got. Looks like Coach Hudson and crew electing to go with a multiple offense, and they will stay in the spread here. Send a man in motion, going to be a fake handoff. Penland going to go right up the middle. Needed one, able to pick up 5. So first down here for the Panthers. One of the few, either the first or second, I'm not positive, first or second of the ball game here for the Panthers.
Yeah, we've seen him have a lot of 3 and outs so far in this one. So nice to see those chains moving once again.
So Penland staying in shotgun here, takes a snap, rolls left, surveying, flips one over,
Good
finds
pass.
Gibbs, and Gibbs breaks a few. Oh, no, he loses the ball. Oh, he was doing so great. Broke a few tackles, might have broke one too many. I thought I saw a Bulldog fall on top of it, and that is exactly what happened. So Dalen Gibbs, after putting on a little bit of magic, maybe should have gone ahead and put the parage back, or the parakeet back in the cage. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
sometimes when you're rolling with that magic, you just can't give up. But that will give Chapel Hill the ball again here. Under 2 minutes to go. Don't forget, we will have the band's halftime performances, starting off with Chapel Hill, followed by your Mabank Fightin' Panther Band. So hope you will stay tuned with us through halftime. Gee looking for somewhere to go, flips it out, and wow, what a catch there. That, again, was number 12, Trevor Brooks. And that was just a big boy, I'm catching it moment there as he goes over the top of the defender for, we'll call it a 14-yard gain there. Gee takes a snap, hands off. This is Stewart. Stewart
stays on his – okay,
Yeah.
finally brought down.
Parting the sea of green there for a pickup of 6 yards on the play.
Great job by Noah Romero there. Grabbed onto a leg and wouldn't let go.
About all you can do. So Chapel Hill obviously in no hurry here. Gee, deep drop here. Surveying, trying to find somebody deep. Now has room to the left side. Decides to throw it up. Oh, bounces off the chest of Noah Romero. Looks like Romero and Wayne Langford both thought the other was going to go for the pick. And that kind of threw off the timing a bit. Got a defensive line substitution as Noah Spencer going to come off in favor of Caden Polk. So Polk going to take over at the nose guard position now. Trade out the beef for the speed, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go.
So 3rd and short, Gee again dropping back, surveying, throws way downfield, and Romero got within a fingernail of it, but not able to pick it off, and it looks like he is in some pain down there, JD.
Looks like he went to try to reach for the ball there at the end of it, wasn't able to get his hands back down to brace himself for that fall. So that's a hard one. I'd say probably definitely knocked the wind out of himself. As the trainers do come on to tend to him in his time of need.
And also got to give a big shout out, a credit there. Not positive if he's a trainer or what, but trainer, doctor, nurse, coach, whatever he is for Chapel Hill, immediately up off the bench and out to check on Noah Romero. So, again, got to give credit where credit's due. Obviously, we all love football. We're all here to watch a game, but there is a lot more, on the line here Football is one way, however you slice it, man. Football is a dangerous game. These kids are out here, sacrificing. I mean, we've talked about, our long truck rides back and forth to going and watching games. We've talked about, our time playing and, kind of doing the yesteryear thing. And, we were both linemen. We know the amount of bumps and bruises and scrapes and breaks and, blood and sweat and tears and things that go into being out there on that field. So, again, it's just nice to see that the community aspect, no matter what, how things are going, is always something that is a part of this beautiful game of football. So, to those two guys over there on the Chapel Hill sideline, do appreciate you coming and checking up on Mr. Noah Romero. But harkening back to that hanging with Hudson there before the game, as you heard Coach Hudson say, there's not a tougher kid out there than Noah Romero. So he's up, walking off on his own power. Love to see that. Will be interesting to see if he's able to go the rest of this one. But wouldn't expect Mr. Romero to be held down for too awful long.
He's a very special kid in the fact that when he enters the football field, he does not leave the football field. On offense, defense, special teams, he is always on the field whenever the Mabank Panthers need him. So
Gee going to go left side this time, is able to find the receiver. That is Brown on the catch. We'll call it, what do you say, JD, about 9 yards now? 9, 10?
I believe it was, about 10 yards there on that one.
Sorry, I was looking at Romero and didn't know what yard line we were on. Handoff this time goes to Stewart, who just keeps the legs churning. My goodness. Spinning out of a couple of tackles. McCullough ends up bringing him down. But what I was going to say is, that Romero situation is also big for the Panthers simply for the fact that he is their kicker. You know what I mean? So extra points, kickoffs, all those kind of things. We have seen somebody else, I believe, kick off this year. I can't remember. I want to say it was a big boy, too. I want to say it was one of our linemen did some kicking this year. But we haven't seen anybody else try an extra point. So that will definitely be something to watch for. There was a timeout called on the field, by the way, as well. So 31 ticks left here before halftime. And, again, we will have the full halftime presentation for you folks. So whether you're visiting with us and from Chapel Hill and watching in tonight, we do appreciate y'all. You will be able to see your band. Or if you're from right here in town with us folks in green, you'll be able to see the mighty pride of the Panther band. Well, JD, they finally made it to the second quarter over there in Malakoff. So Gee surveying, flips out to Stewart.
Oh, interception!
That's Foot. That's Blaine Foot. He has a lot of room. Stewart able to run him down. So, but a huge play there, stepping in front of a screen pass was Blaine Foot. So got a little bit back and forth going on here. Some argument going on the sideline. Come on, guys. We don't need that. And that's Stewart there giving a big earful to the Panthers sideline.
Yeah, Stewart unhappy as he had his pass picked off. So
look, man, it's obvious we're Mabank people here. You know what I mean? We try and call these games down the middle, but right now I'm speaking to you, Ricky Stewart. Steve Sarkisian will know that this is going on. There is absolutely zero reasoning for you to get angry up 24-0 right before halftime and to do something like that. I get that things may have been said or something's going on. I'm not saying we're blameless in this, but as somebody who is going to the University of Texas next year on a full-ride athletic scholarship, there is absolutely zero reason to put yourself at risk there. So, again, this is just, a 30-something-year-old guy talking to some 18-year-old kid. I'm not trying to be, that person. But, man, you've got to think about it that way. That is literally $200,000 sitting in your hands in a football scholarship. So, who knows with NIL how much more. So, Penland takes a snap, going to flip over. I believe that is McCrossan. He is going to find some space. Gets all the way down to about the 10-yard line. So we'll call it a 13-yard pickup there for the Panthers. We'll be on right about the 13-yard line as well. So, again, if anybody out there is a Chapel Hill person or anything like that, I'm not trying to talk down on the kid. Just like I said before, I'm a huge UT fan. Buddy, I need you to come play for my Horns in the next couple of years. I promise you. It is all out of love for you, buddy, but you know what I mean? And when you're in that kind of situation, the spotlight is put on you like that, people are going to try and, fester you, try and get under your skin, things like that. You've just got to let it blow by. Too high level of an athlete, too high level, from what I understand, a pretty high character kid as well. So just don't want to see something like that. Glad it didn't turn into anything ugly down there on the field, and we got away from it. But, again, just got to be concerned about the future, because I guarantee you, if Sark was here tonight, he would not be thrilled with what he just saw.
After that little interception there, Mabank with some sort of life here trying to close in. They are in red zone territory now, knocking on the door, trying to finish it out here. Of course, they do receive the second half kickoff as Penland
going to
roll out.
Ugh. So it's going to end up, I think, going as a yard loss, and there will be a timeout called. I didn't see if I would assume Mabank called the timeout. I don't know why Chapel Hill would want to stop the clock here. So probably going to be one shot into the end zone here for Mabank. So Coach Hudson and crew have some kind of, trickeration. This might be the time to go ahead and break that bad boy out.
Of course, I'm not sure if Romero has got his helmet back on. It looks like number 5 standing right there. He does. So at this field position, you could potentially look at a field goal as well, just to put up some kind of points here before the first half ends.
I don't know. If it's me, JD, down 24-0 before halftime, I think you just go ahead and take your chance. And, again, this is just my personal, flair touch. I think you just go ahead, And
it looks like Coach Hudson agrees with you.
So, interesting. We're going to see Ranford back in the backfield. And Penland going to be assaulted but stays on his feet, falls forward, and time is going to run out. So, not able to get the timeout called. Coach Hudson.
Yeah, it looks like
are they going to
right
give him
there
second?
that judge, he just made the indication that timeout was made with 1 second on the clock.
So going to get one tick back on the clock. Hey, that is long enough. And now with 1 second, I do believe you go ahead and throw Romero out there. That's part of what I was going to say. With 6 seconds, you still got a little bit of time to be able to make something happen. Potentially get out of bounds, get down, something like that. But 1 second, you probably got to go ahead and take the points here.
Yeah,
down
Romero
4 scores.
Romero is on that field, of course. Unfortunately for him, they got him lined up over there on that right hash. So sometimes can be pretty tricky to squeak those ones in from those hash lines.
So Bulldogs out on the field now. Romero getting his placement ready. Does his drops, now side to side. Snap is good. Kick is blocked. Kick blocked around the right side there. The man that has 2 touchdowns, Trevor Brooks, comes and gets a hand on that one. So, been a little bit of a difficult first half here for your Mabank Panthers, but as again, for as explosive as this Chapel Hill offense has, and really as they've been so far tonight, feels like they've been able to pick up a first down really at will. You're really, you're I don't want to say okay, because you're obviously not doing okay here down 24-0, but you feel like it could be a little bit bigger of a deficit, so you at least got to kind of hold on to that as a positive. Well, tell you what, JD, let's go ahead and take a short break. We let the bands get set up. We'll come right back right after this with the band performances here on Cedar Creek.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Texas needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Hey Mom and Dad, what's one of the most overlooked safety features in a car? Everyone checks for seatbelts, turn signals, and airbags, but when's the last time you checked your son or daughter's tire tread? K&S Tires and 7 Points cares about your family's automotive safety and offers a full line of quality tires installed by a team of experts to help give you peace of mind as your loved ones drive to work, school, or run errands around town. Stop by K&S Tire today, just south of the light in 7 Points, and let them help keep your family safe on the roadways all year long. K&S Tires, great tires at wholesale prices.
What's the biggest myth about interscholastic performing arts? That you have to be the most talented or experienced to participate. The truth is, anyone can be a part of their school's performing arts. There are countless opportunities for students to participate, from theater, choir, and band to speech and debate. The bottom line, if you want to perform, there's a place for you.
This message presented by the NFHS and the UIL.
The highlighters would like to express their heartfelt gratitude to all the families and friends in the stadium. Your unwavering support fuels our passion and drives us forward in every endeavor. Thank you for always being there for us. And now, watch the highlighters as they perform a precision palm routine to Let's Get Loud. week's highlighter of the week is Sadie Tarango. Spirit Girl of the week is Elena Zuniga. The highlighters are under the direction of Allison Moranich and Yana Ballou. Ladies and gentlemen, the best of the best, award-winning Chapel Hill Highlighter. And now please welcome to the field the Chapel Hill High School Majorettes. The Majorettes for this year are Shaquela Brooks, Hayden Colgrove, Paloma Perez, and Layla Moya. Tonight they will perform a dance chore routine to Timber. Twirling sponsor is Debbie Dark. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for your Chapel Hill Twirlers. And now, please welcome to the field the 2022 UIL State Military Class 4A Silver Medalist, your sweepstakes award-winning Chapel Hill Bulldog Band. The band is being led onto the field by drum majors Jocelyn Lopez, Zoe Massey, and Jordan Sagan. The Bulldog Band tonight will perform a precision military drill to Fireburst Fanfare, North Wind March, Pride of Arizona March, and Boys of the Old Brigade. This week's marcher of the week is Moses Achille. The Bulldog team will be competing tomorrow in the UIL Region 21 marching contest at Longview High School. We would like to invite you all to come watch our performance at 4:45 p.m. We would also like to wish the best of luck to the Panther Band at their contest next week. The Bulldog Band is under the direction of Josh Kennedy, Christy Willis, Avon Garcia, Will Ross, and head director Joe Hughes.
Pantherettes are led onto the field by 3rd Lieutenant Sophomore Amelia Williams, 2nd Lieutenant Sophomore Riley Cooper, 1st Lieutenant Senior Julia Kingston, and your Senior Captain Leslie Rivera. Social officers are President Zoe Gunter, Vice President Hayden Bauer, Historian Amy Zephyr, Chaplain Natalie Morales. Your Pantherette of the week is Haley Turner. And your star dancer of the week is Amy Zephyr. big knitted outfit. It's the best. You did a couple, yeah. You want me to get it from Jamie? Yes. And then this? You put your foot on top. Yes. Yes. Can I start
Parks Environmental Services, located on 405 West Mason Street, provides customer service-driven experience that counts. They offer erosion control services such as rock filter dams and retaining walls, soil stabilization services like hydro seeding and sodding, as well as construction services such as land clearing and subdivision maintenance. Call Parks Environmental Services, the erosion control specialist, at 214-693-8056. And for any forestry mulching needs, call Right-of-Way Land Clearing at the same number. Again, that's 214-693-8056. Parks Environmental Services, putting it down to protect your ground.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect.
All right, sorry to our friends at the UIL. Had to cut you off there. Oh, yep, turn off my phone too. All right, so we're back underway here. Chapel Hill kicking off to the Panthers to start the half. That is McCrossan finding some space on the left.
Nice return.
Great return there. So, yeah, JD, as you said, had to cut off the UIL commercial there a little bit. Sorry, guys. Do appreciate y'all sanctioning us to be here and call some games. So
absolutely.
All right, well, not a great first half for the guys in green. 24-0 here to start off the second half, but hey, could be worse. We could be Eustis, right? No.
Yeah, you definitely could be.
kidding, JD. And I was trying to look up and see if my alma mater was getting pounded tonight, so that way it could feel like I was part of the crew. But all right, so Penland, again, still going to be working from the spread here. Takes snap, hands off, Ranford right up the gut, and nowhere to go. Yep. Took the words right out of my mouth there, JD.
Looks like a loss of 1, actually.
Yeah, they are going to give him a full yard lost. So we'll set up 2nd and long here, 2nd and 11 to be exact. I think unless you have any objections, I'm going to turn our headphones down just a smidge.
Yeah, go ahead a little bit. That was kind of loud in the ears.
I think I accidentally turned them up earlier. My bad. All right, so breaking the huddle coming up. Set here is Penland. Again, going to be set in the shotgun. Sends a man in motion. He's going to go right up the middle. So quarterback blast that time. It will be a gain of 4 yards. So we'll set the Panthers now with 3rd and 7. And again, we've seen Penland be somewhat effective throwing the ball here tonight. So let's see what they dial up here, especially since moving over into the spread style format here. That's really cool that the Panthers can switch back and forth. Good job by Aaron Roden, the senior center, being able to transition his snaps as Penland surveys, goes left, connects with Gibbs, but going to be not much on the gain. It was a dangerous throw, but it ends up being a 3-yard reception for Dalen, but not enough, and Neighbors will have to come back out for another punt here. Punting hasn't been spectacular so far tonight.
I will say, great job right there by Penland to get that one off in the first place, as he took a wallop as he got it off.
So again, going to be Neighbors here. Last couple punts we've seen from him were sub 20 yards. We know he's got the capability of putting a real boot in this thing. Let's see what he gets on the low snap. Much better looking punt this time, and going to take a big bounce. Keeps rolling for Mabank. So there we go. There's something we're more accustomed to from the Rev Neighbors. So,
truly flipping the field there on that punt.
Exactly. So Gee and company will go to work from the 20-yard line. Felt like less time came off the clock than it did. So 9.5 in a little couple of seconds. So 9:37 left to go here in this third quarter. So about 2.5 minutes taken off the clock there on the drive. Gee going to be set, going to be Stinson to his left. Stinson on the counter, goes right, runs through an arm tackle, and a couple of
He's
more.
still going.
Still going, and wow, spins through, keeps the legs going.
That is some impressive running right there by Stinson.
Pumping, man, absolutely. 35-yard gain on the first touch of the half for Stinson. Again, a sophomore here, going to be taking over the lead role, we would assume, next year.
77 yards tonight for him on only 6 carries.
We'll see Stewart still sitting on the sideline as Gee is in some trouble and eventually going to be taken down, but Foot couldn't quite get him on the ground before Gee is able to turn it into a positive play. So not much, only 2 yards, but had the potential to be a 5-yard loss. Of course, Foot had the biggest play for the Panthers in the first half on that big interception. Had a pretty good return on it as well before all pandemonium broke out. 2nd and 8, going to be a fake and a takeoff here for Gee. So fake to Stinson on going left, ends up going quarterback power right up the middle. We'll call it a 5-yard gain. We'll set up 2nd down and 2 now for the Bulldogs. So Gee again going to be set in the shotgun, takes a snap, just going to hand it right up off the middle to Stinson, who is going to get a big chunk, goes down hard. But they're going to place that at the 27, so 11-yard gain that time for Stinson. kind of hobbled a bit, calling towards the sideline.
Looks like he will head off the field.
Yeah, and this is pretty telling right here. This is number 24, Caisden Holton. Yeah, Caisden Holton coming in to take the snap instead of Stewart. So don't think Coach Reardon loved the end of the second half for them as well, as Gee squirts away and going to pick up enough for a first down here. Matter of fact, we will call it a gain of, let's say, 13,
13,
JD.
yes, sir.
So coming in chunks now here for the Bulldogs in the early part of this second half. Only taking about 2 minutes to get all the way down to the other side of the field.
Where it was almost 2 minutes, and Mabank got next to nowhere on theirs.
Exactly. You can't have that against these high-level teams, JD.
Not at all.
So Gee again going to be setting the shotgun. Surveying, flips out left, has a connection. That is going to be a walk-in touchdown, but we do have a flag, so that would be the third touchdown of the night for Trevor Brooks, but looks like there is a hold going to be called against Chapel Hill, at least according to this side judge. Let's see what the official call on the field is. Still some discussion going on here. Oh, that's why. I forgot to hit the button. It's like, don't tell me that microphone's gone dead again.
Already dead again.
So still really no indication. Still a talk going on here between the Zebras. Now here comes the official. And it is going to be a hold called against Chapel Hill. The way he went back into his pose kind of scared me. I thought he was going to give an offsetting penalty, but it will stand. So that will be a 10-yard penalty called against the Bulldogs. And based on
it was from the spot of the foul.
So that would put them on the 15, exactly. So it is first down either way. Gee takes a snap, surveying, trying to find somewhere to go, flips one to the end zone. He's going to have the catch, but I think going to be just short there, and that is Reardon. So
looks like all the way down to the one there. So
yes, sir.
14-yard reception there from Mr. Reardon, however you say it.
I think that's the second way you said it. I think I've been saying it right. I think it is Riordan.
Riordan.
I know he's won a lot of games over there in Chapel Hill, and I should have more respect, and I should know his name. I'll tell you that. As that is a plunge forward touchdown there for Holton. You get a pass, JD. You haven't been doing this as long as I have. He's been there the whole time I've been calling sports. I should know. But he's beat me so bad every time, no matter what school I'm working with. I've yet to see a win over Chapel Hill. We'll put it that way. But that was Holton again going in for the score, and it again will be number 44, Sandoval, out to do the extra point kicking here. Have Sandoval listed at 5'6". I call hockey on that. I do not believe that young man is 5'6". Hey, you know what? Doesn't matter if you're 4 foot tall or 5'6" or 6'6". If you can kick like that, it works out. So 31-0 now. Mabank, unfortunately, wearing this one on the chin so far here tonight. Gonna have to get the competitive juices flowing back down there. They're not competing. Obviously, you can see that they're competing down there, but you got to get things dialed up a little bit.
Yeah, their offense has just kind of been where they've really been lacking tonight. Not a lot of output from them, a lot of 3-and-out situations, and not a lot of positive numbers here in the stat sheets.
Yeah, and you really need somebody to step up and be a leader on that offense, especially here tonight. Haven't really seen any consistency from anybody offensively tonight, so just kind of need somebody to step up and be the bell cow here. And another opportunity coming up as the Bulldogs prepare to kick this one away. Going to be another deeper kick here. Going to be caught. I believe that's McCrossan.
Sure enough.
And he will get it right to about the 30-yard line. So, that's one thing we can definitely say is that the kick return has been strong so far for the Panthers tonight. Picking up, 10, 15 yards every time they're taking off. But lots of work to do and not a ton of time to do it with. I mean, still about 18 and a half minutes left in this ball game, but sitting down 31-0. Going to need just about all that time. Interesting enough, after I said how great of a job he was doing, Reardon, now on the Roden, now on the sideline there. Handoff going to go to Ranford, who breaks the tackle and makes a nice little move, ends up with a gain of about 17 yards. I believe that's going to be the biggest play of the night so far for the Panthers.
That is the biggest play of the night. Sounds like somebody found our microphone there.
Sounds like a youngin' found it out there, but whoever the second young one was that says, don't touch it. You know what? You're my favorite kid out here.
Favorite one.
We're going to have to put her on the payroll, JD. Be our security.
Protecting that microphone.
So first down, Mabank close to the midfield stripe here. Penland again going to be set in the shotgun. Going to be a pitch back. It wasn't a great pitch. Linder had to go back and get it. Good job. It could have been a loss of about 8. Ends up as a loss of 2. So we'll bring up 2nd and 12. But, yeah, pitch that time hit Linder on the back shoulder. Had to adjust and slow down for it. Gave time for the Bulldogs to swarm around. Believe that was number 9 right there, Matthew Walker, the senior D end, that will be credited for the tackle. I think he was assisted by number 11, Piera Allen, as well. So Penland again going to be set. Sends a man in motion. Going to roll to his left. Going to keep, step up, has nowhere to go, and can't get rid of the ball. So was surveying, found nothing. Ends up going down pretty hard.
Looks like he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, though.
Yeah, so will not be a loss, luckily enough. So got Gibbs slowly coming in. Yeah, I can already tell you right now why Coach Hudson called that timeout. Guys were kind of walking a little slow, shoulders down a little bit. I don't think he liked the energy that the team was showing there in that pre-huddle. So I think that's a pretty good idea. Go ahead and call the timeout, even though it is a little early here, still with 4:26 left to go in the third quarter. But sometimes you just kind of need that come to Jesus moment. You know what I mean? So as a head coach, again, you've got to be playing checkers on the chessboard. You know what I mean? So he knows his team. He knows what they're about. He also knows when to let go and let somebody else take control, because obviously Coach Hudson's in full control down there. But you see he kind of walks away from the huddle a little bit earlier, lets the offensive staff kind of talk with his guys, not, in everybody's face, commanding, yelling, that kind of thing. So I guess you could appreciate that.
Always. Especially as a player.
Yeah. 3rd and 12 here. Again, Penland going to be set in the shotgun. Believe that is Ranford flanking him there. Going to roll to his right, trying to find somewhere to go. Pump fake and sacked. Brought down. Looks like that is number 58 that will end up getting the credit for the tackle. That is Isaac Gary or Garay. It's one of the two. I apologize, young man. It's either Gary or Garay. There's an extra A in there. So we'll bring Neighbors back out for, believe this will be punt number 5, number 6 of the ball game, somewhere in that ballpark.
Maybe next time I should keep a tally or something.
So Schreier was a little bit late getting out to the party, but everybody's set now. Wilkinson as the up man, making sure everybody's getting set. Goes to his position. Good snap.
Oh, man.
No excuse on that one for Neighbors. Just mishit it. So
sends it into the stands over here.
Yeah, so let's see where they say it crosses at. Oh,
Kid. Yes, it did.
Yes, it did. We got a little comment section down there. I love it. So ends up being a 15-yard net punt. So second one of those we've seen tonight. And Neighbors just, again, normally a boomer with that right foot, but tonight just having a little trouble.
Just coming off the foot the wrong way. I mean, that was probably the first one that he's gotten where the snap was really good, but just came off the foot wrong. You know, he's been battling a lot tonight with those punts, with kind of those awkward snaps right there. Got the bet. Oh, man, yes.
Stewart.
He's back out, and he is instantly going to work.
Yep, 16-yard chunk there for the future Texas man, Ricky Stewart. That will immediately put Chapel Hill into Mabank territory here.
75 yards on 13 carries for Mr. Stewart tonight.
He's actually doing, pretty good compared to how most teams do against him, but looks like he's getting strong late here. And just, I try not to make too many comparisons to, like, pro players and stuff like that with these high school kids, as Stewart is able to pick up, we'll call it 6 on the play. Matter of fact, make it 7 as they marked up one more yard. But the way that Stewart runs really reminds me of Le'Veon Bell, prime Le'Veon Bell at that, where he is just so patient in the hole. Can get north and south really fast, but can get east and west just as quickly. Seems to be able to make it just about anybody miss. Runs through arm tackles again. It's just a load to bring down, JD. Not much more you can say about that.
Oh, yeah. Had his helmet pop off at the end of that play, so he's got to come off for at least one.
So Gee trying to find somewhere to go, moving around the pocket, ends up finding, I believe that is reared in again. It is. So from the, 32 to the 24? Nope. Yeah.
Yeah, 24.
24. So 15-yard completion there. Or that was a 34 before, so a 5-yard completion. This time, quick handoff. Big burst of speed there from the running back. That was Holton. Picks up a sizable gain. Call it 8, I want to say. Yeah, 8 yards on the play. Matter of fact, they're going to give him – so we'll call it 8. So 2nd and 2 here. Stewart coming back out into the ball game. So Gee takes a snap, throws left, has the completion, going up the sideline and in for a touchdown. That is number 10, Malik Brown. Called his name a couple of times tonight, but that is the first time he has found pay dirt. And that now puts the Chapel Hill Bulldogs on top of this one, 37-0 here. Still a minute to go in the third quarter. So Sandoval, again, will be out for the extra point here. Right-footed kicker gets set, marks off his steps. Good snap, good hold, and kick was a little low, but does get through the upright. So now a full 38-0 lead for these Chapel Hill Bulldogs over your Mabank Panthers. As they reset, we're going to go ahead and take a short break. We'll come right back right after this here on Cedar Creek Media. Oh, where'd it go?
Parks Environmental Services, located on 405 West Mason Street, provides customer service-driven experience that counts. They offer erosion control services such as rock filter dams and retaining walls, soil stabilization services like hydro seeding and sodding, as well as construction services such as land clearing and subdivision maintenance. Call Parks Environmental Services, the erosion control specialist, at 214-693-8056. And for any forestry mulching needs, call Right-of-Way Land Clearing at the same number. Again, that's 214-693-8056. Parks Environmental Services, putting it down to protect your ground.
All right, so McCrossan took the kickoff, as y'all saw, and was able to get to the 23-yard line. So Mabank will be setting up from the Chapel Hill 23. Let's go ahead and take a look and see.
From their own 23.
Yes, excuse me, from their own 23. Trying to refresh this page and get some scores checked out here, as Kilgore has gone on top of Lindale 28-7, and Longview Pine Tree holding out a 14-10 lead over Henderson. Both those games in the third quarter. Ball going to go right up the middle this time, but it will be a loss on the play. We'll call it a full, 3 yards on that?
Yeah, a bit of a botched handoff there on that one. I'm not sure who was the one that actually ended up with the carry.
See, Carthage has gone all over the top of Athens, 42-0. 63-0 now. Malakoff on top of Eustis as Penland trying to find somewhere to go.
And
he's
picked off.
And that is going to be a pick six. It is. So trying to find somebody in the middle, but Allen, junior strong safety, linebacker, able to step up on that and pick it off. Take it in for another easy touchdown here for the Chapel Hill Bulldogs. 20-yard INT return, and now a 44-0 advantage for Chapel Hill. Sandoval again comes prepared for the extra point attempt. Kick is up and right through the uprights again. So another 7 points on the board there for the Chapel Hill Bulldogs. Well, speaking of scores, let's go ahead and finish up our score check from around the area. So as I was saying, Carthage now all on top of the Athens Hornets, 42-0. That one in the third quarter. The Sunnyvale and Kemp game had to be suspended. Will be played tomorrow at 2 p.m. Not exactly sure the story over there. Tried to go on social media, Facebook, and stuff like that, and see if I could find some kind of explanation on that. Could not. So not positive on what's going on there. Always could be, official shortage, anything like that. So. As I said, Malakoff on top of Eustis, 63-0. That one is in the third quarter. West Palestine Westwood, 41. Dieball 6. That one is in the fourth quarter. Mildred ends up taking out Cayuga, 26-7. Price Carlisle on top of Crossroads, 49-19. And Kearns holding on to a slim lead over the Frankston Indians, 32-28. So that's what you got going on. Sandoval again, ready to rocket the ball off of his right foot.
I believe that's actually Emmanuel Valencia out there to do the kicking.
Oh, you're right. I just kind of assumed. You're right. I didn't even look up. It's McCrossan this time going to wave it off and take the fair catch. But you're exactly right. That was a very much larger man in Emmanuel Valencia, listed as a defensive end, center, and kicker. That is a unusual combination there, JD. Did you ever do any kicking when you were younger?
I never did any kicking.
You never did any kicking?
No, I was not good at kicking. It was bad.
I was actually the backup kicker for my middle school team. Never needed to go in, but as I told you before, I played select football when I was younger, and I got to do one kickoff in select football.
Yeah.
Kicked it about 12 yards. So handoff on the backside goes to Linder. going to be able to fall forward to pick up a couple of yards there. But, yeah, one chance I ever had to, be a part of what was going on with the football. I kicked it right off the top, and it spun like a top, just sat there and spun around. Ended up going 12 yards, so I didn't get a penalty. But Coach said, yeah, no, we ain't going to. I begged him. I've been a backup kicker for forever. Let me try and finally kick one off. And nope.
No dice.
No dice for me. Well, JD, that is the way the third quarter is going to end. We're going to take us a short break. We'll come back with the final quarter right after this here on CD.
Timeout.
All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Kylie with Double K Photography will help you never forget all those special occasions, wedding and maternity photos, as well as family and senior portraits, just to name a few. With over 5 years of professional experience, Kylie can transform your wildest dreams into reality with pricing options available to fit every budget. Contact Kylie by email to book today at hello@doubleKphotography.studio or online at www.doubleKphotography.studio, where you can also see samples from Kylie's previous works and client testimonials. Double K Photography, a proud supporter of Mabank Athletics.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Texas. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
All right, so back here, Cedar Creek Media, Panthers lose 2 yards while we're at the break. Come right back to it, and that will be a no-yard gain that time. Didn't quite see the number. Was that Wilkinson down there? No, I believe it's Ranford. So, either way, it's not much on the pickup. None, as a matter of fact. So we'll now be 4th down again. And Rev Neighbors been maybe the busiest man out there tonight. Again, on to punt. Good snap. Much better looking punt this time. Might be the best punt he's had all night. Angles and keeps rolling. Nicely done. All right, now that is what we're used to seeing.
That's a normal Rev Neighbors punt right there.
Absolutely. So we'll call it somewhere in the neighborhood of about a 40-yard net there. So we'll be putting Chapel Hill back pretty deep in their own territory. Going to be starting from their own 29-yard line. Let's see how aggressive these Bulldogs want to be here, holding a 45-point lead at the moment. Funny enough, that is actually what Dave Campbell's had this spread at tonight, was a 45-point spread. Handoff going to go to Stewart. He's going to try and find some room on the left side, and
he's going to break one.
Yeah, he's finally drug out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
That 23-yard pickup right there.
Yeah, so 23-yard gain for the future Austin man. And again, I'm going to love it when he's in burnt orange to see this. Right now, while he's in blue and white, I'm not exactly loving it, you know?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. So this will now be his 6th game of the year with 100-plus rushing yards.
Oh, it's over the century now, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, how about that? Snap goes immediately to Stewart, who fakes the handoff to Gee. Ends up fighting forward for a gain of a couple, but there is some laundry down on the field. Let's see what they come up with.
It was on the offense. I was in the middle of yawning, so I didn't catch the first part of it. But it looks like they're walking off 10, so I'm going to imagine it with a hold.
That was exactly what I was about to say.
So first down and 20 coming up here for the Chapel Hill Bulldogs.
I was just double checking and making sure I wasn't misspeaking. But, yeah, speaking of those guys in burnt orange, it's going to be a fun game on Saturday night. Number 5, Georgia Bulldogs coming in to take on the number 1, Texas Longhorns. As Gee winds up and throws one, will be complete, but there is more laundry back in the backfield.
Holding.
So that'll back them up another 10. Will now be 1st and 30 here for the Bulldogs. But, yeah, that's going to be a fun one, man, at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium. You know, Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium down there in Austin is one of the just best. I mean, just one of the meccas of football here. I guess really not only in the state of Texas, but in the country. I mean, just a beautiful stadium. If you've never been down there to catch a game and you have any kind of interest in college football, Longhorns, whatever it is, that is definitely one to get down to. Our friend from Athens, Mr. Paul Curtis, had a couple of tickets last year, got to go for the first time, and that was a whole lot of fun. As Gee hands off this time, that looks like it's Stinson. Is that Stinson on the carry?
If you'll wait till he gets up, I can definitely tell you.
That just didn't look like Stewart's running style to me. It looked...
Sure enough, I believe it was Stewart.
Yeah, you're right. It was Stewart out there, so it looked a little different than his traditional type carries, but will be a sizable gain of 17 yards there, or excuse me, 13 yards. It's going to be a deep pass, wide open, almost with the one-handed catch. So just a little overshot, but running wide open there was Trevor Brooks, who again has had a big game here tonight.
Yeah, he's got 2 touchdown passes thrown to him on the night. One for 46 yards and one for 34. So he is definitely their deep threat option.
Just taking a look over here on ESPN real quick while they're doing that. It's actually a 5-point spread, and Texas is picked to win 3/4 of the time, so interesting here. Gee surveying to the right, going to load up, launch one down the right side, and they're going to say a mutual fight for the ball. If we're being honest, that was a little bit nervous there about the potential pass interference call on, I believe it was Linder.
Yeah, it's Linder there in coverage.
Yes.
I definitely think he probably got away with the one there.
So we'll be 4th and 19.
I will say I believe this is the first time that we have seen the Chapel Hill punt team come out on the field.
I do believe you are correct, sir. Can't quite see the number on the punter either.
If he could just turn a little bit, I'd totally be there for you. I believe it's number 12.
Wow, that was a beautiful I mean,
what
for being
bounce.
a punt, that was about as perfect as it could absolutely be. I mean, and you're right, that is number 12, Brooks, who has had a couple of touchdown passes here, or catches, tonight, doing a beautiful job on that punt. Had a couple of Panther defenders right in his lap. Throws a beautiful move and then still able to absolutely bomb the punt down to about the 11-yard line. So Mabank going to be setting up in difficult field position from their own 11. Just under 7 minutes left to go in this ball game. 45-0 the score. And it looks like going back to the slot T here. And it's going to be a handoff up the middle and a decent chunk there for Wheeler Ranford. Looks like they're going to give him about 6 on the play. PA man
But
calls
say
it 7.
not to disagree with you, but I'm going to have to agree with the PA man on that one.
Mabank taking a little more time getting their plays brought in, so not quite a waving of the white flag, but the stick is up and the flag is in hand.
Yeah, this one is it's a get out of it kind of situation.
Yeah, they don't have many 45-point plays, so again, going to be a handoff to Linder on the sweep. Again, going to be a short gain. Looks like they're going to give him 2 yards on the play. So we'll bring up now 3rd and 1 here for the Panthers. So I haven't seen many of these 3rd and shorts or, short distance downs at all so far tonight. As Linder going to come out of the ball game and the young Maddox McCrossan coming in. Again, going to be setting the slot T. It's going to be a handoff right up the middle. Believe that was Ranford who was met right at the line. Believe they're going to say, yep. So they're going to say forward progress. Just enough. So needed a yard, got about 1.1. But it is enough for a first down. All the way under 5 minutes to go, down to about 4.5. So Mabank just playing for a little bit of pride at this point, JD. Don't forget, next week we will be in Lindale. So if you're not going to make the hour-plus trip out there to Lindale, go ahead, log in right here where you're at right now on the Mabank Athletics YouTube page. We will be bringing you the showdown between the Eagles and Panthers. This handoff goes right up the middle this time. And will be another minimal gain. Believe they're going to call it another 2 yards for Mr. Wheeler Ranford. Not even. They're only going to mark him off for 1. Then they changed their mind and went to 2. So, sorry, JD. I know I see you over there.
My stat sheets, man.
Well, they did have it set at 9. And then now they have it set at 8. So Penland gets his guys set, comes under center, sends a man in motion. Going to be another handoff up the middle. Looks like he got stepped on that time. So good job just to be able to get the ball out. And again, I try to, right now we're just kind of talking, but in my day, that was the only time I was pretty bad. I was not a great player, but the only time my quarterback ever truly got mad at me is when I did exactly that and stepped on his foot. So wherever you are out there in the world, Mr. Brenton Griffin, buddy, I'm so sorry. I stepped on your foot so many times. We'll set up another 3rd and short here for the Panthers. Call it 3rd and 2. 2.5 minutes to go. Handoff up the middle will be enough for a first down.
Plenty for a first down there.
Yeah, so call it a gain of right around 6 on the play, I believe.
Would you be mad if I told you it was 7?
No, I would not.
Well, it was 7.
Hey, quick calculations, man. Getting it. Your computer, your pink computer between your ears works better than mine does.
Oh no, it's just the space between the ears up there. I don't know where the calculations come from.
So Penland again going to quickly snap it. Again going to hand off to the man going around the backside. See that play ran to Linder a lot. That time goes to McCrossan. And it will be a gain of 5 yards there on the play. Well, that's kind of set in an awkward spot. Where are they going to? Okay, so they're actually going to back it up a little bit. So 4-yard
yards.
gain on the play. You kind of put it on the in-between line there. I was like, well, is that 5 or 6? But it's 4.
He was standing on all 3 lines, okay?
Oh, man. So right at about a minute left to go in this one, folks. Again, Mabank just playing for a little bit of pride. Hand off to Ranford. He's going to get close to the first down marker. I believe he's going to come up a yard shy. So 5-yard pickup there. Will again be 3rd and short.
That's number 25, Mr. Kason Schreier.
Oh, yes. Good call. I heard it right as the PA guy said it. Y'all said it at the same time. So
his first carry of the game.
I have to go back and double-check our notes, but I can't remember him receiving a handoff. I know they've thrown him the ball once, but I don't remember him getting a handoff at any point. As it's going to be a end around to McCrossan, and that is going to lose
1, maybe 2 yards there. I think it's only 1.
Yeah, it depends on the spot. Yep.
Yeah,
so
just the 1 yard.
1 yard loss. And let's see if Mabank even decides to run a play or if they just go ahead and let this one end. And it looks like that is what they're going to do. So not quite the showing you wanted here tonight at home. Chapel Hill Bulldogs able to come in and run a little rough shot. 45-0 over your Mabank Panthers. So, JD, this is one of those where they say, you know what, we're not even going to watch the film. We're just going to burn the tape and just forget about it. And unfortunately, that's what this one was. You know, we've had a couple of more one-sided losses. First one that comes to mind, of course, is that Pine Tree loss. But that was a game where you were really in it. You felt like throughout most of the game. But tonight here against these Bulldogs, it kind of right about mid-first quarter, it started feeling like, this could start getting out of hand. And by halftime, it felt like it had pretty well gotten away.
Yeah, just no real way for them to be able to kind of stunt the momentum that Chapel Hill was able to get early, and then they just kept riding. And, it's hard to stop a team when you don't have a way to really stunt that momentum. And that's kind of usually where these outcomes come from. So I'd say something to keep in mind for them over this next week is figure out some way to, even when they're down, just to be able to kind of stunt what the other team's trying to do to just be able to pry their way back into a game.
Yes, sir. Well, unfortunately, man, there's not a lot of analytics to go over tonight. You know, a lot of times we like to try and sit here and break down this game, but tonight you just got beat by a team that was here and had your number. You know what I mean? There's no other way to put it. Unfortunately, Chapel Hill, they just seemed they knew exactly what their plan of attack was tonight. They did it. They had a couple of guys find some real success. We saw their quarterback kind of grow up before our eyes tonight as well after a tough game last week against Kilgore. So this is a tough team. There's a reason why these guys were state runners-up last year. It's just one of those where you're just going to have to take the iron and let the iron sharpen the iron and continue on and control what you can and get ready for next week against Lindale.
Absolutely.
But before we take off, let's go ahead and take one more poke around and look at some of the scores from around the area. This, of course, be the most updated scores as of now. Longview Pine Tree is looking to give Henderson their first district loss of the year, 28-17, that ball game in the third quarter. Kilgore has jumped all over the top of Lindale, 42-7. In the third quarter, Carthage 49, Athens 10. In the fourth quarter, Malakoff 70, Eustis nothing. Final from Diboll, Palestine Westwood 41, Diboll 13. Mildred holds on to knock off Cayuga 26-7. Price Carlisle holding a sizable lead over the Crossroads Bobcats 56-20. and Kearns holding on to a narrow lead over Frankston. That game in the fourth quarter, 39-35. Well, again, for everybody that's been here for this one, we do appreciate you all so much for
thank you
for being here, hanging out with us. Again, we know this isn't exactly the way to end here tonight, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, sometimes that is just the way it goes. So, again, for Cedar Creek Media, I'm Taylor Honey.
I'm J.D. Bird.
We appreciate you all for being here. We'll see you next week when we're in Lindale as your Mabank Panthers take on the Lindale Eagles. Pre-game at 7 o'clock, kickoff at 7:30. Be there or be square. See you later.